Hi, so glad you're in the kitchen with Mom. Up on today's menu, something that might make you cry, how to cut an onion. There is a technique and I'm going to demonstrate for you. In front of me, I've got several onions. I've got a yellow onion, I've got a white onion, and a purple onion or a red onion. I use these two interchangeably in cooking. This one, I use this when it's going to be eaten raw, like chopped up in a tuna salad or sliced into rings for a hamburger or a sandwich topping. When you are cutting, I put a damp kitchen dishcloth that's been wrung out underneath the cutting board, and that will help keep your cutting board in place. I'm going to show you how I'm going to be making the cuts first and then actually do them so you kind of know where we're going with it. All right, so on your onion, you've got a root end and you've got a pole end. You know the root end because there's all these like little hairs, the roots coming out there. You're going to be slicing off a little bit of this pole end. When we have that sliced off, he's going to go face down and you're going to cut it in half directly through the roots. Then we're going to lay halfway. We're going to make horizontal cuts, we're going to make vertical cuts, and we're going to make perpendicular cuts. All right, so let's get started. Sometimes when you're cutting an onion, you need to take off some of this papery stuff, and that's quite all right. I want to see what you're doing. Also, I'm holding it with my fingers back. I want to keep my fingers. Okay, so it's down on the cutting board, and I'm cutting off, about, say that's about 1/4 of an inch or so of that pole end. Face down, I'm going to turn it, I'm going to go cut it in half, halfway through that root end. Now we have it cut in half. Okay, I am going to peel this top layer of this onion off. I don't want that papery skin in there. So now we have this. Okay, we're going to do the horizontal cuts, the vertical cuts, then the perpendicular cuts. I'm going to hold my fingers so they're back, like this, okay? I'm also keeping this part up. I am going to stop right about here when I'm cutting. I don't want to go all the way through it. I want to try to keep the onion intact as much as I can. All right, so with everything, fingers on top, keeping it still, I'm pushing it down, keeping that onion sitting on this cutting board. Back up, I'm going to start my horizontal cuts. I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm going to work my way up. Depending on the size of the onion, you might be making three or four cuts. This one is 3. So I'm keeping my fingertips. I'm really just kind of poking it down with my fingertips to keep it from moving. All right, that's good. And I stopped right here. Now I'm going to be making my vertical cuts. I want this dice to be a medium dice, so I'm making my vertical cuts, I'd say about between 1/4 inch, 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch. I've made all of those vertical cuts, but I am stopping here, so I'm not putting that knife all the way through. Again, I want to keep it all together. Then I'm going to make my perpendicular cuts. As I make my perpendicular cuts, you'll see that we have a diced onion. I've kept my fingers back, and I see I was kind of resting. It's like a little handle there. And I'm good with that. So if you want, you can actually save these if you like to make your own chicken stock. You can keep a bag in the freezer and save scraps of vegetables and reuse those later. So there we go. We have a diced onion.